Okay guys, I hope you're still hanging there with me. So I made my mat for the back cover, because again, I'm not going to work directly on the back cover. And I grabbed myself another sheet, and I grabbed myself this leftover. Now this leftover piece, 3.5 to 3 3/4, 3 5/8, you know, anything that works for you. The biggest thing I think that I was looking for, my last page, I have decided is this one. This is the back page, and I wanted this to be wider, but not much wider than these pockets, just so there wasn't any interaction with anything, blah. So, and I'm going to have to kind of maintain this as being, you know, not having anything on it. So, which I can do. Not a problem. Not a problem. So I can get the little scoreboard out for this one. Now, I want this to be a big pocket. I mean, it's a small pocket, but, you know, when you're filling albums, if any of you have ever put actual pictures in these things, I have. When you're filling albums and you're done for the day or whatever, and you've got all of those pictures that you want to get in, I like to have some place in the album to put them. It's just so much easier. Now granted, you're probably not going to fit them all in there, but this will be a good start. So I'm going to give myself that 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to give myself 3/8. Big pocket, right? Okay, so there's the 1/2 inch. And that piece that we cut earlier, I am going to use that. So, let's go ahead. I want to think about this 3/8 here for a minute. Because it's pretty flat. 3/8 is going to, you know what? I think I'm going to make a rounded. Okay, so I'm just going to fill in, but I'm not going to accordion it. I'm just going to leave it where it will round if it wants to. Okay, I fold the first flap, and I fold the most inside flap and the most outside flap. I don't fold the rest of them. It will do what it's going to do. Okay, the book will bend it. You know, so you don't have to do anything. So now let's see how much. Here, this is my mat. I'm going to put it on the underneath side. And, of course, we want it to be able to stand up correctly. So I'm going to make my next score line right here. Make a mark right at the edge of the paper. And then bring it back to your scoreboard. And do the score where you made your mark, and then 3/8, and then you're going to cut, and you can just make a little mark if you want, you know, just to know where you need to cut real quick, so that now I'm going to place this back on here because I almost forgot, and I'm going to fill in the other 2 score mark areas. But again, I'm going to fold the first one, and I'm going to fold the last one. And I'm not going to fold the other ones. They will do whatever it is that they're going to do, okay? I do want to make sure that I can place this without it bulking onto my sheet, and it looks like I will be fine. Looks like it is snug, but not going to collapse on, you know. Okay, now for this sheet, of course, the first thing is it has to be, I'm going to have to do it this way because I need to be able to put, you know, flaps. So I'm going to first do my 1/2 inch. I'm going to find what we need. There we go. I'm going to fold my 1/2 inch in. Now these aren't not going to get any, these are not going to get any gussets to them. So I'm going to put it around the back. I like being able to do that. All right, so then I'm going to make a mark so that it is beyond, it is laying next to my mat, my base sheet, okay? So it's not on the sheet, it's adjacent to it. Let me see if I can show you that. See, the little line is next to the edge of this. That's going to help you make it large enough to, well, let's do it this way. That's going to help you make it large enough to go around the back side. Okay, and then I am going to flip it this way. I want to get this straight. No, not going to be able to do it. That's okay. So we're just going to fold this down. And it should be fine. I'm going to go ahead and cut the 1/2 inch off. Okay. So now I want to figure out, I have this pocket. Make sure it's down on the end. So I have this pocket, and I want 2 more. So this one I want to actually have it come inside this one a little bit. And then I want the next one to do the same thing. So I'm thinking I'm going to want to cut right about there. All right, so basically it's almost in the center. Almost. So I'm going to cut this. So now I have my 2 pockets. All right, so now don't get lost here. Let me put this away. I don't need this anymore. Get it out of the way. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue. This is flipped over. So this is the inside of the pocket. And I'm going to put the first one. I'm going to lay this right along the edge of the bottom, and then let that fold over. Make sure that you've got it all the way in without, you know, doing it this way. You know you're not going to be in the way of the fold line. Okay, so there's that part, and then this one will just do its thing going this way. Now, I did forget the back. I did forget the back. So, I'm going to go ahead and bring the large scoreboard out so you can see what I'm going to do here. And I am going to leave a 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to do 3/8 of an inch. And then this is a little over a 1/2 inch, but it's fine. So, we have our 3/8 of an inch, and we've got our folds. Okay, and then I just need for the length. So I'm just going to lay this right across. And this I'm cutting, I'm putting the mark right along the edge of the paper. Okay, so it is in line with the paper. And if I cut right down on that mark, it's going to be the exact length I need. So, let me get this cut. If you, and I've always said this, if you take the time to get to know your cutter and how it cuts, you're going to do way much better, way much better. Okay, so another thing that I'm going to do with this, once I get the bottom done, is I'm going to slide, because I don't want to put this on the inside of the pocket, right? Because then you're going to click, click, click. Don't want that. I want it outside of the pocket. Then when I decorate, you won't see it, okay? I'm not cutting the edges, I don't think. Let me think. Do I want to cut the edges? Yes. So I am going to cut both sides. But again, do not do your score marks, because that is what's going to carry it to the edge of your pocket. If you cut it off, it's going to be short. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's get this out of the way. Easier to move around without it. Let's go ahead and put glue down on our flap. Flip it around. Line it up. And there we go. Nice flat piece of paper. Okay, and then the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and put glue on both sides. And we're just going to slide it up in there. If you're worried, if I was doing it with score tape, I would do one side and then the other. I would do the back side, get it all lined up, and then the front side should just lay down perfectly. But since I'm gluing, now I'm not putting in the gusset area. I'm going to lay this down just like that. I'm going to place my pocket from end to end, and I should have okay. I need something in there that's 1/4 of an inch. Let's see where I can do some pinching. Okay. Let's bring it over this way one more time. All right. And if you need to push on those ends, just get your, there we go. Now that did not seem to get up there as high as I wanted it to, so I'm going to add some more glue and make that catch. Slide this in here so I got something to deal with. There we go. There we go. Much better. Remember, this is all going to be glued down, so you're not going to see this. Okay, so now for my next pocket, which I believe is this one. I want to put this around my paper, okay? You want to make sure that it's going to lay flat. But I also want this to slide down. So, what we're going to do, I'm going to lay this on my grid. You can use a ruler and do it that way, but I'm going to lay this on my grid without moving it. Thank you very much. Okay, and about 1 1/4 inches. Yeah, 1 1/4 inches, I'm going to make a little line. 1 1/4 inches. All right, and then I'm going to just curve that down so that you guys can see what I'm going to do here. All right, so you see I just curved, I just made a line, straight line down on both sides. So we're going to cut this just like that. And then I'm going to see how much of the fold I cut it off. I cut it off there. So you got this and then a little bit in. So we're going to cut the line, get past the score mark, and then bring your scissors closer to the score line. So you have a very wide V, okay? And as long as they don't have to be exact, but you do want the starting position of the fold that you have. You want that to be, you know, you want that to be in the same area. So if I put this like that, so there's that, and I did not get it quite. Okay, I need to cut this one a little bit more this way. And then I'm just gonna, there. So now I should be in the same vicinity, and I am. This part right here, that is where you need to make sure that you have it exactly the same. Okay, so now we're going to put this around and slide it down until it hits. So now you can see, I'm going to put a piece of paper in there. Excuse me. So now you can see that it opens. It's going to open all the way down unless you glue it. But it's way down below the lip of this pocket. But yet you can't see any of the, you know, of the transitions. All right, I love that. So let's go ahead and put glue. And I think it's going to be easiest to do one at a time. If you do want to close the pocket, you go right ahead at this point and close the pocket. So we're going to lay it right where it wants to stop. And then I'm going to fold it over. Okay. And so now we can just fold this over. And I don't want it to be so tight that you can't get anything in it. So make sure that you leave it, you know, whether you have to put a little piece here or you're just making sure that, you know, it's going to be usable. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing with this one. Now this one, and I'm going to show you a little different way of doing it this time so that it's going to work better for you. So let's just get a ruler. And I know I have one around here somewhere. Either a little one, a big one. Oh, here's Timmy. Poor little Timmy, he's about had it. Okay, so I am going to go 1 1/4 inches. 1 1/4 inches to, and then I'm going to double check that that's going to be enough. To make the pocket fit and still have some room. So this 1 1/4 inches is where we're going to have our spot stopped, let's say. So I'm going to go right straight over and cut to the score line. Do not cut the score line off. Do not cut the score line off. Okay, Now I want to double check that I'm going to like where this stops at. So I'm just going to fold these under and piddle a little bit. Well, I can just lay it over top. Let's just see. Right there. So this is very high, and I'm thinking I would like it to be a little lower or a little easier to get into. So I don't think I'm going to make it any lower, because then it's just going to be, you know, like a little thing, and these are so wide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring something down here. Excuse me. And I know one thing that we have used are these. And now let's see if I can get this centered. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's the center. We'll stay right in between these two marks. And I'm going to okay, so that will allow us, of course, the only scissors I seem to have right now are these monsters. I don't really like doing fussy cutting with these, but that's all right. We can do it. We can do it. I'm just cutting that line off. And this is going to make anything that we have put in there easier to grab out. So I'm going to put great big mat in there, or even a booklet, so that you'll be able to, whoever buys this, that you will be able to put more pictures in. Okay, so there is that. Now, as far as this goes, now we are going to cut through the score mark and take off a little bit. Okay, so now we have where both ends come in. I saw, who did I see do this? And I can't remember if she goes by this name or it's Kathy Orta. I think it's Kathy Orta King now. And she called them t-shirt pockets. This has been years ago. So I don't know if, I know there's some things that she has patented. But this she did on regular everyday stuff, you know, just so. But I think still giving her credit for it. I think she called these the t-shirt pockets. Makes sense. You tuck them in. It's kind of funny. Okay, so then that one is just going to go down to where it stops. And we're going to flip it over and glue it down. Now the first one I'm just going to glue right to the edge, and the second one I want to make sure that I'm gluing that right to the edge as well. Don't just fold over and let it lie, you know, if it's going past this mat, because you want the pocket to be able to be utilized. And if you don't get it right on the edge, then it's probably not going to, you know, pop up where you can get something in it. All right, so there is the build for our 3-pocket inside back cover. All right, guys. So that is it for this film. I will come back next video and we will decorate both of these. And I don't know if, and then I'm going to have to walk you through how I did the cover. And because my son has not been able to recover those. I was begging. He said there's shows 4, but they can't find, you know, it says they're there, but they just all got corrupted. So it's very sad. So I hope you guys will stay with me and I will get you through this. We'll get you through this. If I can get through it. All right, again, please, if you have any questions, any concerns, if you want to see anything done different, you know, done again, let me know and I will work it for you, okay? Okay. I am a week before my vacation. Wow! So I am really trying to get this done and make sure I've got you guys covered while I'm off. So, bye guys. See you later.